Welcome to Modern Research Solutions International. Our organization was founded with the goal of widening global awareness through effective and ethical social research. Our partners offer a wide array of talents developed through years of experience in diverse areas of the social research field. Our company offers the latest technological innovations and a high degree of savvy in social media matters. In order to help you with your research needs, the following is a presentation of our proposed research plan for Human Rights International. First, let us provide a short summary of our research proposal. Afterwards, we will describe in depth the details of our research plan. Our research will begin with qualitative research based on university student study groups in cities such as Cairo and Dubai. Our second stage will consist of face-to-face interviews with individual respondents, gaining further qualitative information. Stage 3 will be the heart of our study, a mixed-method questionnaire that will be given to respondents both in public forums and online via the HRI website. This questionnaire will discover the attitudes of youth in the MENA region on issues surrounding human rights. Our next stage will build upon this research by offering links to segments of the questionnaire on social media forums like Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. Finally, we will use these social media networks to pass along information about HRI to our target audience. This research plan is based on specific goals and objectives we hope to reach through working with HRI. Our goals are to understand how to grow the HRI organization in the MENA region and to appeal to youth and young adults in the MENA region to expand HRI to the younger generations. We want to appeal to the youth and young adults because they are the ones in the best position to make major change in the coming years. They will be our target audience. Our first objective is to use social media to gather information about the target audience, which is voluntarily posted on many social media sites. For example, surveys, gathering information about our target audience from profiles, pictures, etc. We will use written surveys, focus groups, and telephone interviews to gather information from poorer areas that do not have consistent or reliable access to computers or social media. Eventually, we will start a texting campaign to inform residents of the goals of HRI. This will also enable us to eventually use the texting campaign to disseminate information on what HRI is doing to improve the region. At Modern Research Solutions International, our job, first and foremost, is to provide high-quality information to the satisfaction of our clients. This all starts with how we determine a usable sample. We will tailor our methods as much as possible to getting information that helps Human Rights International. Because of the socioeconomic status, some subjects may not have access to certain methods of data collection. As some of the areas where HRI is looking to expand its presence are underprivileged, we can increase our sample size by giving potential subjects many different means of response. In addition to the in-person focus and internet surveys, we will also employ telephone-style interviews for those who cannot travel, and mail surveys for those who have access neither to the internet or cell phones, and other methods that broaden our scope. Keeping in mind that some of the potential respondents may be less comfortable in certain ways than others because of multiple factors, including fear of government retribution in some areas. All data will be collected using non-local, impartial third parties from either China or India. Americans will not be used as moderators because general reaction to Americans in the MENA region is not positive, and locals will not be used because that might cause respondents to find culturally desirable but not necessarily true responses. In the Middle East and Northern African regions, it is likely that some potential subjects may lack information on both HRI and basic human rights conditions. This could be because of oppressive government regimes, rural lifestyle, or lack of interest. We should attempt to incorporate some of these respondents as well, so as to receive answers from as broad of a sample as possible. HRI and MRSI can decide at a later date whether to include information in its questioning so as to educate respondents. As a responsible partner of the social research community, Modern Research Solutions International maintains ethical behavior standards in relationships with our clients, respondents, and fellow researchers. We uphold our integrity through strict conformance to the code of the American Association for Public Opinion Research. Our researchers always choose the research methods most suited to the needs of our clients and we reject the use of misleading or falsified studies. In the interest of full transparency, our research methods and standards are clearly published on our website, www.mrsi.org. In our relationships with both clients and respondents, we keep a strict policy of confidentiality. As published on our website, our ethical research standards match our reputation as an industry leader. Our respondents are, whenever possible, fully aware of the parameters of our study, and in no way do our studies harm, embarrass, or otherwise violate the human rights of our respondents. Finally, whenever possible, MRSI shares our research conclusions with our partners in the research community in an effort to build upon the collective knowledge of our field while respecting the efforts of our clients to lead their respective industries. When confidentiality concerns arise, however, we prioritize our clients' and respondents' right to privacy over research collaboration. Regarding our proposed research with Human Rights International, there are a number of ethical considerations. Since our proposed research will be conducted primarily through electronic means, the confidentiality of our respondents and of Human Rights International will be protected with state-of-the-art hacker protection software. Due to the delicacy of religious matters in the region, MRSI study groups and questionnaires will frame our queries with full respect towards not only those of Muslim faith, but also other religions, and will in no way alienate any group of respondents. Our queries will be formulated in a non-biased, secular manner so as to maintain an open and welcoming atmosphere. Since many respondents may fear retribution from authorities for expressing their honest views, respondents will have the option to decline answering any questions they feel may put them at risk. Honor Research Solutions International will work on the behalf of Human Rights International to study the reputation of HRI in the Middle East and North Africa. Through this study, we intend to discover attitudes towards human rights in the region and techniques that HRI can use to improve both its reputation and its influence. Our study will be focused on the increasingly influential youth demographic in the MENA region and their communication techniques. We will explore the role of new technologies in this segment. This research will use mixed method techniques to present a comprehensive picture of youth attitudes and communication networks in the Middle East and North Africa. Our quantitative research will use the traditional telephone and personal interviewing techniques and will implement innovative social media research. This exploration of social media will also provide qualitative research that allows respondents to provide their opinions in their own words. Our study will begin by forming focus groups at universities in major cities like Algiers, Cairo, and Dubai. These study groups will study regional demographics, telephone and internet penetration, and gain a preliminary sample data set to use in weighing our final statistics. We will also use these study groups to investigate how the youth in the MENA region communicate. Study group facilitators will be of neutral political persuasion and of unbiased ethnicity and culture to the interviewees, such as Indian or Chinese, to best encourage comfortable, honest dialogue through friendly but not familiar group leadership. From the focus groups, we will concentrate our preliminary studies through the interview stage. Interviews conducted both via random dialing and in person will allow us to gather data across demographics and gain a control sample to which we can compare our social media studies. These interviews will also give us information on poor and less educated segments of the population who may not have access to transportation, the internet, or a college education. Once our preliminary data has been gathered, we will compile our final full questionnaire. This will be disseminated door-to-door and posted on the HRI website. In addition, smaller segments of 2 to 3 questions will be offered online for the social media attention span, accompanied by further demographic data. Our study will reach its full potential when we begin sharing our questionnaire on social media websites like Facebook and Tumblr. While door-to-door and public space interviews will be valuable for controlled data, our study on social media will concentrate our focus on the youth demographic. In addition, online studies are remarkably more efficient and cost-effective. Information gained from the first 3 steps of our study will be used to access politically motivated online populations who will share links to our full questionnaire with each other through their Facebook pages and Tumblr blogs. In addition, embedded links on the websites will link to segmented versions of our questionnaire that include further demographic information. Finally, we will use the snowball method to ask respondents to recommend other politically motivated youths via their cell phones and Twitter accounts. Once these connections are established, HRI can use them to share information about HRI programs in the MENA region. The high point of our study will come in our SMS campaign. The Arab Spring of 2011-2012 showed the power of the quick text among the youth of the HRI region, and we will harness this both to inform HRI about the opinions of this key demographic and to share information about HRI with them. By adopting all these methods as portions of our research, we will maximize the amount of people able to respond, and therefore the number of respondents. Because we want as wide of a range as possible of respondents within the 16 to 25-year-old age bracket, we must account for limited access to the internet and transportation in order to receive responses from those who are less financially privileged or live further distances from the cities hosting focus group discussions. Like a good stock portfolio, MRSI believes that the best way to get strong data set is to ensure that potential respondents all across the board have equal access to participate, obtaining diversified data sets from a diverse sample. We will use a mixed method approach to evaluate the feelings on human rights in the MENA region. The quantitative aspect of our research will allow us to give a statistical analysis of the feelings on human rights issues by demographic category and geographic location, and it will allow us to measure the strength of support for certain responses that we have laid out in our multiple choice or other limited answer type questions. The qualitative method will allow us to take the answers given by respondents and place them on a spectrum of opinions gathered from our research. This method also allows more room for variation in responses. Putting answers in the target audience's own words also improves the integrity of the survey because it draws more than cookie-cutter responses and gets to the information at the heart of the issues that HRI is passionate about. While the quantitative portion of our research can help feed HRI with an at-the-glance data to formulate ideas for growth and progress, the qualitative data will be more useful as it will make clearer the path forward for HRI. In order to take full advantage of a golden opportunity to expand in a region that we believe is underrepresented by human rights organizations, HRI's research must be mixed method in order to create strong, detailed internal strategy plans for growth. A mixed method approach will also lead to better integrity of research, as more information taken from varied research methods creates a larger and stronger data pool from which to draw generalizations and find answers to the questions facing HRI about the MENA region. The more information we are able to gather, the more likely it will be that our team of data analysts can discover trends in order to help HRI better meet its mission. Our questionnaire is divided into two sections, the multiple choice section and the free response section. The multiple choice section, the goal is to collect numbers rather than stories. What we should ultimately come away with from the quantitative side is a percentage of respondents answering yes or no to the questions presented. As mentioned previously in the objectives section, HRI seeks to gather information about youth populations living within the MENA region, the risks volunteers may face, and the context and urgency for human rights issues in the region. In the free response section, the goal is to collect stories rather than numbers. What we would come away with from the qualitative side is a running narrative of insight into each culture that we will be able to evaluate. The free response section acts as a starting line for discussion with members of regional communities and can provide insight into the thoughts and impressions of the surveyed population. These are examples of question prompts that would be included in the questionnaire. The multiple questions will be primarily yes or no. The free response questions will be open-ended enough to allow the participant to expound on their opinions and experiences. In the report of our findings, we will begin by outlining the religious, political, and personal demographics of the region. This will allow the viewer to get a feel for the environment that the research is taking place in. Next, we will report respondents' qualitative insights on human rights. This section will go over how respondents view human rights in the context of their country as well as internationally. Following that, we will go over the quantitative insights on issue importance. This section will report the value of the major human rights issues that need to be addressed as chosen by respondents. Next, we will report the qualitative insights on activism, including whether respondents think that human rights abuses are occurring, which ones are occurring, and what respondents think should be done about human rights abuses in their region. The final section of our report will address the recommendations for HRI based on our findings. We will go in depth to address the quantitative and qualitative data that we find and report our conclusions on what should be done in the region to expand the influence